Welcome back to my channel. Today we have Charlie, the tarot reader, Heyoka. I hope I pronounced that correctly. She's a
Yes.
very powerful empath slash tarot reader, very intuitive person, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
What do you want to talk about, discuss?
Whatever. I'm truly an open book. I very much believe in the vulnerable leader, you
Okay,
know? So I'm truly an open book. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm down.
okay. Well, how about the people that are brand new to spirituality? What do you have any advice for them that there might be some people out there that are curious about spirituality? Where should they start? Where should they go to for knowledge about that? Besides, like maybe like I'm talking about like something tangible that they physical they can touch, like a book. Do you have any advice for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my spiritual journey, I just went back to what made me tick, like when I was a little kid, like what was my jam? Like what did I love? What did I really enjoy? And it brought me back to third grade when we were learning about Greek mythology and astrology. And I've just always, as most people are, nothing special here, but most people are drawn to the night sky and, um, all the celestial bodies. And that sort of like got me ticking there. And then, um, the pop culture of astrology, I've always been like, oh, I'm a Gemini. In fact, that was one of my first tattoos. I got a Gemini symbol because I'm a Gemini sun. But that also led me down the path of learning my chart. And I think that that is crucial because, from my perspective, on a physics level, I believe in the science, right? Like we are little drops of Jupiter. We are, we can be carbon dated, right? So we are just other elements, vibrating in one little piece here. And so when you look at your astrology chart, I see that as how you fell from the heavens and how your elements have been comprised. And then you can see how those elements are going to grow and mature based on the elements that are around them, right? So that's your parents' charts, your siblings' charts, that's your astrocartography. So where were you living at that time and how was that affecting you? So when you learn your astrology chart, you can learn, about your natal chart, your progress chart, about all the different aspects of astrology, which is endless, of course. There's no limit on it, just like time. Um, you can learn yourself, and when you know yourself, you know true love, real unconditional love. And that's really knowing God. That's the way I see it.
What drew you? What really drew you to astrology more than other things involved with spirituality?
As a kid, I just always enjoyed it. And now knowing my chart, I know I was born at 3:03 a.m. So
Oh wow!
I was born in the witching hour. Like I was always meant like I am no basic bruja. Like I was born under an Aquarius moon and I have that's 11th house, which I also have Saturn and Mars, 8th house Scorpio. So I have a lot of generational trauma that I need to heal in this lifetime as well, learning that I have Chiron conjunct my sun sign and a north node in Gemini. Um, yeah, it's just helped me to understand a lot about what brought me here. I don't know if that really answered your question. I think I went off on a tangent there, but um,
No, you answered it. I just find it interesting. You said you're a Gemini and that the 303, so three is ruled by Mercury, which is kind of crazy. So you really are, tied, intertwined with that type of energy, aren't you?
100%. I'm a Pisces rising as well. Um, so yeah, threes rule very heavy in numerology. I won't share my legal name here, but with my legal name, my in numerology, I'm a three. Um, my birthday number is a three. My I believe I also have 11s in there, so I can't remember my numerology numbers, but I know that my birthday number is a three, and one of my others is a three as well. So threes are just heavy in my world.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I believe
Yeah.
you. Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
let's see. I wrote some questions down for you. Um,
Please, I'm just gonna take a sip of my tea here.
oh yeah, yeah. Um, so what drew you to tarot, and also what makes it work?
So it's funny. Tarot actually came to me because in my cancer journey, after I was diagnosed, I realized what emotional and mental impact it had on me. So I started seeking therapy. How I found the crunchiest therapist I did, but I did, and she was amazing. Spoke to her like weekly for 2 years or so, but turns out she was actually Ron Michelle Gypsy. And so I had started into talking about astrology, and in a lot of ways they end up intertwined. If you end up on the YouTube rabbit hole of astrology, you'll find tarot gets jumped in there too. And so I started asking her about it, and she was, oh, she's like, I've been reading cards since I was 11. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, it's part of my culture. Like, that's like your gift on your 11th birthday. She's telling me about it. And anyway, so I'm like, okay, well, what would you recommend? And I was like, and she told me go get, a Rider Waite deck. So I did that. But my ethnic background, my mother's Colombian. So, and my dad is like English, German, Irish. So I was raised Roman Catholic. And so I was sort of hesitant to like talk to my family about it because I didn't know how they would receive it. Knowing that I was going through all that I was going through, I was worried that they're going to be like, maybe we should get her some grippy socks and a padded room for a little while. Like I didn't know how they were going to take it, right? So when I got my deck, I brought it home, and I am incredibly close with my grandmother. She passed in 2011. And so I always talk to her. And as I was talking to her, I was just saying, like, Mama Ines, like, please let me know if this is okay. And I'm gonna start crying because as I was doing that, she came to see me because I got a little pinch like on the back of my elbow, which was one of the ways that she would come and say hello. Some grandmas do this. No, my grandma would come and just kind of pinch the back of your elbow. And I told my mom about it. And she told me, and she said, when I was a little girl, I was going through my mom's altar of things, and I found a pack of cards that didn't look like normal cards. And mom took them from me and was like, mm-mm. So I think my grandmother used to read, and we didn't really know it. I knew my grandmother as like Opus Dei Catholic. Like when she had a nightmare, she would drink holy water. So, yeah, it's been a very full circle in how I came back to it, but I think it's always been a part of my life and I didn't know it. But I think that also speaks to Saturn in my eighth house of Scorpio, generational stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So speak. Continue on with that. People that are skeptical about the afterlife, how do you know for sure? Because you said you got pinched, but how do you know for sure it's real and it's just not a figment of our imagination?
Physics.
Physics?
I think that's the simple answer, right? Like I
Well,
truly,
if you talk to a scientist, they're quick to say, well, the information is still lost, it can be destroyed, but information scattered, and it's still loss of the information that was, but the energy is still there. It's just scrambled up, basically. I think that's how they logically explain it away, something to that effect. I'm maybe botching that, but there's still a
no,
loss
no,
of information.
no, I hear what you're saying, and I understand that argument as well, and that's why I enjoy doing like one-on-one, um, and I enjoy collective readings as well, but I truly really enjoy having the one-on-one experience because you can feel someone's energy, right? Like it's just, and the way that I sort of got into another aspect of how I got into this was during my cancer treatment, I started receiving Reiki. And during one of my Reiki treatments, my master healer, at the end of my session, asked, I have a tattoo of my grandmother's portrait on my forearm. And she tapped my arm and she goes, "Who's this?" I said, "Oh, that's my grandma." And she looked at me and she goes, "She's never very far away from you, is she?" I said, "Nope." So again, like the energy is present if you allow yourself to be open to it. And people who have physically genuinely experienced it will agree. Like if you have never seen a ghost, you're not going to believe in it. It's until you experience that energy and you have that material understanding within your own elements in your own body, that's when it resonates and you're like, whoa, okay, yes, this makes sense. Like if you sit here and you're gonna rub your hands together and then you start to feel the energy between them and you can let it build, and that energy is still going to be present even when it escapes the body. I mean, we're just souls inside of a skeletal meat sack riding a rock hurtling through space. Like your elements are just captured for this short time. You're just sitting inside of a car. When your soul jumps out of it, your soul is still your soul. Your essence is still your essence.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, but people are still skeptical on the afterlife. But yeah, it makes sense that you can explain it with science. Like I've seen some weird stuff. I've seen some weird things as well. But the skeptic in me still like tries to reason my way out of it with like say a ghost box. In 2017, um, there's no way the ghost box I ordered had my grandmother's voice. It doesn't make any sense. But I heard her confirm say my name, and it was bizarre. It gave me goosebumps. Um, but I still try to reason like maybe it's just a psyop. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they just want to make. Maybe there's something in these ghost boxes that's hooked up to like some CIA or something, trying to get people to believe in a false truth. I still try to
Right.
reason my way out. You understand where I'm coming from?
A healthy
Um,
skepticism is important, and I think it's clutch because
yeah,
there is too much of the fact that we've commodified everything in life. You know what I mean? Like people are trying to make a buck. And if I can make a buck by putting out a viral video or,
yeah,
scamming my friend and making us, you know what I mean? So I think skepticism is absolutely healthy. I think it's important. I think it's necessary.
yeah. I agree. I agree. No, I know it's more likely real because I've seen things that has nothing to do with any technology at all. There's no way.
Mm-hmm.
Unless,
Mm-hmm.
unless again, conspiracies will take it. Well, if they have a weapon that moves particles from this, whatever you want to fabricate, um, to reason our way out of reality. Because I,
Mm-hmm.
I am a strong believer that the paranormal and ghost and afterlife is real. But again, I'm not going to lie, there is a little skeptic in me. So, but thank you for that.
Of
Um,
course, yeah. I feel like I'm not really answering your questions and just sort of like
No, that's
going off
fine.
on
That's fine. No, no,
tangents,
no.
but
You're helping. You're helping. You're helping. No, seriously.
okay,
Thank you.
right on.
No, no,
Cheers.
no, you're answering. That makes sense. Yeah. You should be a politician.
Me?
Yeah, because you say you weren't really answering my questions. You were just like, word
It's
salad.
funny. I mean, I've definitely thought about it, given the socioeconomic hellscape that we're all trying to survive here in America, which has its, outwardly effects through the globe. So yeah, I think it's necessary, but I don't know that I have the stomach to handle it. Like I'm not trying to get cancer again, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. You
Shouldn't
get
make me
it's
sick.
probably stressful and stuff. Yeah, very stressful job.
If I can keep smoking, then maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Um, let's see here. I have some more questions for you. Is there anything that you just are very passionate about that you want to discuss?
I am certainly passionate about self advocacy when it comes to healthcare, because I was this close to not being diagnosed at all. So I'll just When I was in my 30s, I was recently married. I had a 2 year old at the time, and I started getting migraines. So I went to the doctor. They gave me some medicine. I started to feel better, but then they would still come back. I noticed a lump on the right side, like closer to my armpit, little lump, and I'm like, that's weird. But I noticed it was cyclical, so I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just with my menstrual. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. There was a birth control I took that gave me fibrocystic, problems in my breasts, and so I was like, all right, well, maybe it's just that. Then I felt a second lump, and I'm like, that's probably not good. And again, I was just kind of putting it off because I was working for a huge retailer, a global retailer, top, Fortune 500 company here as a store manager. And I'm thinking, like, let me just get through the holiday season because this is nuts. Like, I'll deal with it afterwards. So, yeah, I went and saw my regular female doctor, and they were like, oh, like, you're fine. Like, you're 33 years old. Like, you just had a baby, 2 year old. So that's still enough from having breastfed her for a whole year. Um, that they were like, don't worry about it. Your previous birth control, you're healthy otherwise. I had just run a half marathon like 6 months earlier. They're like, you're otherwise healthy. Like, let's not worry about it. And I'm like, no, something is wrong. I am waking up out of my sleep. It felt like I was getting like a full like barbecue skewer. Like it kind of looks like a biopsy needle, really. It was like what I was dreaming, but it felt like I was getting pierced, like from underneath my armpit, like through my breast and out my nipple. Like it was waking me up out of my sleep. And I kept telling the doctor, like, no, something's wrong. And I, 3 different times, are you sure? Are you sure? To the point where I clutched the table and I looked at her and I said, look, the only way you are going to have me leave your office is if you order me the mammogram and the ultrasound or you call the cops. Take your pick. And so she went and got the order. And 3 weeks later, after 9 biopsies, I was diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. So after I went through all, it's because staging takes some time. Like, yes, they'll find the cancer, but they don't know how bad the cancer is until they really get in there and test things, so on and so forth. Well, I had stage three. So, and stage 3A. So I had two different tumors and they took 21 lymph nodes from my armpit, 8 of which were positive for carcinoma. So had I waited the 6 months as that woman recommended, my nurse practitioner at my female doctor recommended, I probably wouldn't be, I'm confident I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I lost 2 friends to colon cancer at age 38. So I'm
Which is,
just,
wow.
it's just, yeah. And one of them was actually my divorce lawyer.
Whoa.
So yeah, I was diagnosed. He actually, and that's why I'm so passionate about helping people heal, being self advocates. He helped get me through my divorce, and I was one of the first people he told. Like he knew, his fiance knew, and then he called me and was like, "I don't know how to get through this. Like, what do you recommend?" Like, I want to be that safe person for people, help people know how incredible they are before they're gone,
Yeah.
and to live to their full potential too. You know, like my other friend that passed, she had her master's and was a licensed clinical social worker and worked diligently in the Richmond community to help people um, who were not as privileged, as my lawyer did as well. I mean, he was one of the best family lawyers here in Maryland. So I'm just going to sit here and cry if I talk about them, but that's what I'm super passionate about is medical self-advocacy, especially again, everything that's going on here in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a circus. That's all it is.
yeah,
And
it's
it's
infuriating.
it's all preventable too. This doesn't
Thousand
have
percent.
to doesn't have to work this way, but we all know what it, I don't, for topics for different discussions for me. I don't want to
Yes.
get I don't want to get banned or anything.
Yeah, no, no, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You edit this down however you need, bro.
I can no, it's okay. Talk about what you want. I can edit it. Just no, you can say shit, fuck, who gives a shit, I
I
don't.
do curse a lot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. You can look. You can say shit, fuck. I don't. As long as it's not the first 30 seconds in the video, YouTube don't care. And I'm not even
Well,
monetized. I don't even plan on being monetized. I don't care about making money from this shit. I do it
yeah.
because to me, I'm passionate about it. I love spirituality. I love magic. I love the unknown. I love these
Amen.
topics. I'm not doing this shit for money. I don't give a fuck. Fuck the money. So yeah, say fuck, and I'll leave it in. I don't
Fuck
give a shit.
cancer. I'll say fuck cancer and
Yeah,
fuck
fuck cancer.
capitalism because it's slowly killing all of us one way or another. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
we get up and go to work and get stressed out and it's just it's nuts. It's nuts.
I wonder how many times I said fuck.
Ah,
I could probably bleep one fuck out.
one of my favorite things to do when I like get annoyed with people, I sing a little song to myself and I go, fucking fucking fuck her face, fuck your motherfucking face, fucking fuck her face.
Yeah. That's
Because it
actually
makes
probably, I think that's actually been proven to be in the song, or at least the last part is fuck her face. I think
yeah,
it was confirmed by Lady Gaga that that's the case.
it's necessary.
It, okay. Yeah, I don't have any more questions to ask about tarot and magic, unless you want to talk about it. Because I'll ask you one more question. I know you're busy today on this very most festive time of the year, Yule,
Very happy
Christmas.
Christmas.
Christmas, Merry Christmas to you and Happy Yule to you as well.
Cheers.
Um,
Likewise. Good
One
you.
more question and then I'll get off here. What does
Okay.
magic mean to you?
Mm. I feel like it's everything. You know what I mean? Like that's why I mean I do believe myself that Christ Jesus is my master ascendant, but I'm not going to show any disrespect to any of the other master ascendants. But I'll just say that, like, for Christians particularly, I find it hilarious that they're like, "Oh my God, you're a witch, and you're casting spells," and it's like, I'm pretty sure in Luke they talk about the three magi. What are the three magi? The three magicians, and what were they magicians of? Their wisdom. Like again, this is just about like understanding. Like you are casting spells every time that you speak. Like you have to spell out a word. Like there is vibration in everything, your thoughts, your again, it's back to like the science, the physics of everything. Like I find that science is really magic in a lot of ways, and understanding it and how to use it is, that I mean, that's what got witches burned back in the day. It's because they were smart women. Like they did not burn witches, they burned women, and it's because they spoke up, it's because they had knowledge, they knew natural healing, and the men saw them as a threat. No offense to men. There's nothing wrong with the XY, but you know, I mean, I think Adam was the sample and literally Eve was made for reproduction. You know? Like he had a nice prototype, but he you know he was the one that was there to make shit happen. Like fine tuned it and got it right. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just evolution anyway. Like the Y chromosome is eventually going to fade out, certainly millions of years from now, but it's not meant to survive.
Well, thank you so much for being here today with me. And I really do appreciate
Of
you
course,
sharing your story. I really do.
of course.
And I
No,
agree
thank
with
you.
you 100%. I agree with you with the
Yes,
healthcare and everything. So thank you.
true.
I'll,
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.